Yeah, Redwan, this is part five. I think it is. I can't remember. Like, I just got up and stuff, and I don't know what's going on. But anyway, um, hopefully it's part five. You're gonna have to look at the other parts to see viewers and stuff. Anyway, here we go. Inshallah, uh, your second part two video.
Alright, here we go. Part 2. My first part 2 video. You're evidently influencing me. Well, anyway. I believe I was just saying about how, like Islam, which has God's speech and God's actions and things like that, various attributes, and they have to be understood according to traditional Islamic exegesis, not literally. And the same thing goes with other traditions. They'll say the same thing, and they'll say they have these figurative stories. God doesn't really forget, but just the Bible says that, making some kind of point to us. Now that's what they'll say. We can debate about whether that's okay or not. That's debating about the premises, and it's basically a rational debate. And you'll decide. Probably you're going to come out and say no, that's not all right. They're going to say that is all right. And your reasons for deciding one way or the other don't really have to do with pure reason or pure logic. It has to do with your intuition about when is something okay.
Okay, first of all, I disagree. First of all, because when you say like the attributes of Allah, are very simple. For example, in the Quran it says that Allah is the all-seeing. We believe that's literally. Allah says that Allah is all-hearing. We believe that literally. It says in the Quran that Allah is the all-hearing, the most wise. We believe these are literally. It says in the Quran, that uh, for for example, it says that there will be a man that comes, the Antichrist, the Dajjal that will come, and he will claim to be God, and he will be one-eyed, and your Lord is not one-eyed. So we believe that Allah has eyes, yeah, and we believe this literally. But just like how I have a face, and a fox has a face, and a clock has a face, it says in the Quran there's nothing comparable to God. So my face and a fox's face is different. My face and a clock's face is different. My face and the face of a table is different. So yes, the attribute is there, and we affirm it if it's in the Quran or the Sunnah. But we don't say it's that Allah's face is like my face, or or fox faces is like Allah's face, or clock's face is like. No, we say Allah affirms it, and basically, and it exists because it's in the text, but in Allah having these human things, these human attributes, it's not not human attributes, but Allah having an eye, having whatever He affirms Himself with, there's no weakness in that. Weakness is in like if you get hungry, you get thirsty, you get tired, you get overpowered, you lack knowledge. This is where weakness comes in, and this is what we call shirk. But if Allah affirms something in the Quran, we agree with it. Yeah, we agree with it without saying, okay, and Allah has a eye and it looks like this. Allah has a whatever and it looks like this. We say no. Allah's attributes, He has them. We affirm them, and basically we leave them how we are. We don't make similitude to the creation. Because I see and Allah sees, but Allah is all seeing. I don't know what's going on, behind me. I don't know what's going on outside. I don't know what's going on, at my mum's house. So at the end of the day, I say we affirm the attributes of Allah, but Allah's attributes are superior to human beings. That's why we worship Him. And what did you say last? You said, okay, the Christian book. No, to be honest with you, then that would mean that basically all of the Bible is basically metaphoric here, and none of it is literal. So there's no actual meaning. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Look, in the Bible, like it says God's rested, you say, okay, that's not metaphorical, it's not literal. Okay, the rainbow in the sky, it's not metaphorical, it's literal. But they've got so many, there's like literally hundreds of thoughts, where it gives God human weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? again and again and again. They can't all be, you know what I'm saying, all metaphorical, because then that means there's no literal stuff in the Bible. And today, generally, all the Christians, as I was saying before, they believe that Jesus, peace be upon him, is God. There's no way you can get out of saying, you know, because Christians say God is fully man and fully God. There's no way as a Christian, yeah, or as a Hindu or Sikh or anything here, you can say that this character who didn't know, who got beat up, who got overpowered, who got kidnapped and all this stuff, or got, you know, got tricks played on him. There's no way you can say that this character is not a literal character, because then where's the literal message, you know? And I think you and I both know that Christians generally literally believe Jesus is God. Not all, but the majority of them, you know. And as for the other, you know, there's other things we can go into in the Bible, you know, to disprove them. So basically, what I'm basically trying to say to you is that I don't accept that all of this stuff is metaphorical. Can't be, because then there's going to be no thing. It's just a metaphorical. All it is a metaphorical analogies with no real story. So Jesus never really, in their belief, Jesus never really existed. Shiva never really existed. It's just some poem you made up. Then you still don't have objective morality. You see what I'm saying? So either way, they don't have objective morality. If it's all myths and the story's not true about true characters, then it's not, you know, a real story. You know, therefore they don't have objective morality. They just have basically a bunch of stories.
What kind of premises are okay for our reasoning about religion, you know? Intellectuals of other traditions, all other traditions, are going to disagree with these premises. And so as we fall back on logic and we start to talk about these things, it's either there is solid, logical, mathematical quality proofs for Islam, and all the rest of the world's intellectuals are stiff-necked, stubborn, maybe not intelligent people, or there isn't such good proof. Of course, if we listen to teachers in other traditions, you know, some of my favorite traditions, I really like the Shaivite tradition, the worship of Shiva, the non-dualist Advaita tradition of Hinduism. And I like the Thomist Catholic tradition, Neo-Thomist, scholastic tradition, influenced by Avicenna, as I said earlier. Oh, I didn't say that earlier. Sorry about that. I was talking about Maimonides at that time. But, you know, they're really intelligent people who really carefully argue out their points. Same thing goes for the Theravada Buddhists and Byzantine, you know, the Byzantine Hesychast tradition. And
do you know what, Red Wine? I'm hearing to all these names you're mentioning, all these people and stuff. I speak to people of different religions all the time. And look, basically, to make it easier on both of us, when you look into all the religions, Sikhism, Hindu, Jewish, you know, when you look into it, it's not actually God they're worshipping. I guarantee you, like I was saying before, they're all saying God become a man, God become a statue, God become an animal, God becomes a pig, you know, God lacks knowledge and stuff like that. When you take that time out and you sit to them and you talk to them extensively and so forth and go over it, and some of them have no problem with saying, yeah, God rests, so what? You know, God had to put a rainbow on the side to do that. You know, especially like, for example, like Christians, because it's more for emotion thing. So what I'm basically trying to say to you is that I meet people and I talk to them all the time. If there was more proof on these in these other faiths or they worship God, then I would be with them. But the fact is that they don't. They're worshipping the creation with the Creator, and Islam's the only religion that calls the Creator. Now you're not gonna accept it from me, but I left Christianity, yeah, because they worship the creation and they don't worship the Creator. So I'm not someone who's born into Islam and just following it because, you know what I'm saying, because that's the way I've been raised and stuff. I was actually something else. There was a time when I went from Christianity to secularism, I wasn't interested in God at all. You know, I actually became Muslim, you know, inside prison. So what I'm basically trying to say to you, you know, is that, like, me through talking to different Christians and so forth and different people of different religions and talking to atheists and everything, this has obviously made me how I am, because I've seen that the proof in atheism and in Christianity and in Sikhism and all this stuff is lacking considerably to Islam. And you know what I'm saying? And it's clear to me, I'm not being unjust with them. If I went to be unjust, I'd still be a Christian and say, you know, my book doesn't really have these errors, but it did. So, I left it, But you don't have to believe that at the end of the day. I know within myself, that I've looked extensively into these religions and that they worship other than God. You know, you don't have to accept that from me. You don't really know me. You don't have to take my word for it. So, you're free to think about what I say, whatever you want. You don't have to believe me. You can believe me. It's up to you. But I know for myself, I've looked extensively into them, yeah, and they don't have scientific proof. They don't have logical proof. They don't have, the proof that is sufficient to be the truth, and that's my take on it.